It's another massive game in this festive period for Derby County as Peterborough United head to Pride Park. Derby could find themselves in second if results go their way elsewhere within this section of fixtures. Obviously a massive game on New Year's Day. Peterborough head to Pride Park Stadium, and it's not the first time Derby have a massive fixture against Peterborough. Earlier this season, Derby saw themselves victorious at Peterborough, and is that something that Paul Warne is going to be able to redo again at Pride Park Stadium? Let's take a look into the fixture. So it's a massive, massive top of the table clash. Third face fourth, fourth at home, third away. Both on really good runs of form recently, but who is going to come out victorious? That is something nobody knows. But obviously, you look at the two teams, so evenly matched, but Peterborough have played one more game. Peterborough score more goals, but also concede more. Derby County aren't that far away, though. Are Derby County going to be able to cause Peterborough enough problems to win this game? Personally, I think it's a possibility, but it is also a chance for the unbeaten run to disappear. Obviously, both teams have recently been in really good form, but shall we take a look at Peterborough? It's a busy period, this festive period, so please make sure you like, comment and subscribe to keep up to date with all my content. Thank you very much. So, as we know, Derby and Peterborough have faced each other quite a lot in recent years. Derby County recently won the previous fixture 4-2 at Peterborough, but they have a head-to-head of 4-4 with one draw. Obviously, last year, Derby lost 2-0 at Peterborough, but beat them 2-1 at home. If you look at the recent form, both teams are in excellent condition. But I was talking to a Peterborough fan on Twitter yesterday, and he was saying that they looked very leggy towards the back end of the game. Now, with what I saw from Derby against Oxford, that was not the case, but it could be different heading into Peterborough. Obviously, there's only a few days between the Oxford game and the Peterborough game, so it's massively important that the players get the right rest and recuperation, which I'm sure Paul Warne and the team are doing. Obviously, Peterborough drew 2-2 with fellow playoff rival Barnsley. Peterborough found themselves 2-0 down, similar to Derby did at Oxford, and they came back to draw 2-2, but were unable to find that winning goal. That means that they've drew their last two games, both 2-2, so is there a defensive weakness which Derby can exploit? Let's now take a look at Peterborough's manager and their players. Peterborough are a very, very young side. I don't think they have many starting players above the age of 25. I know Johnson Clark Harris is on the bench. He's probably a player who will be moving on in the January transfer window. Interest was rumoured in the summer from Derby County, but is it still there? Are other clubs still interested, like Bristol Rovers, whose deal fell through at the end of the window? But let's obviously take a look at their danger men. They have quite a few of them. You've got Mason Clark, who has 13 goal contributions this season. Is a very, very impressive player. You've also got Kwame Poku, who also has 13. You've got another youngster in Ricky J. Jones, who's up there with 8 goal contributions. You've got Harrison Burrows. They have a range of riches in these attacking areas, and that's something which Derby need to look out for. Derby were undone last season by this young core at Peterborough, but Peterborough have had masses of changes and now find themselves under new management. The management changed towards the back end of last season and I believe was in charge for the 2-0 loss which Derby faced at Peterborough. But is Paul Warne going to be able to do something about it? I think he is. Earlier this season, Peterborough came unstuck against Derby. Derby won 4-2, but hat-trick hero from that day, Martin Wycorn, will most likely not be available for this game. Shall we take a look at the manager of Peterborough and let's see what he can do? So, Darren Ferguson he's been at Peterborough. I think this is his 4th spell as a manager at Peterborough. He's got them promoted plenty of times previously, and his most recent spell ended in February 2022. But he left in that February and rejoined the January a year later. Since returning, he's had a 60% win rate, 58 matches, 35 wins, 10 draws and 13 losses. The 51-year-old manager has shown he is clearly capable at this level and clearly capable of managing Peterborough with the expectations from the owner. Obviously, Peterborough are a side who have had the likes of Ivan Toney, who is now in the Premier League, obviously recent betting scandal, but unreal player. There's loads of players from Peterborough. Derby signed Joe Ward. He's returning. Well, he'll have his former club come into his new club. So it's just a massive, massive game for many, many reasons. Derby County obviously beat Peterborough before Darren Ferguson left the first time. So is that going to play on his mind? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But shall we now take a look at Derby and their team? So, as we know, Derby are on a mega, mega impressive run. I think it's 8 wins in 9 games. Can Derby make it 9 wins in 10 games? Can they do it all? Can they keep this run going? Because at the moment, I think they are the best team in the league. Obviously, Derby fan bias, but I think we've been mega outstanding recently. The likes of Nathaniel Mendez-Laing, Conor Hourihane last night in the Oxford game was unbelievable. For the first half an hour or so, he wasn't really in the game, but his set-piece delivery was excellent. I think he got another assist last night for the Erin Cashing goal. I'm not quite sure who got credited with the assist for Craig Forsyth's opener, but it's a massive game. James Collins, personally, wasn't really in the game, but is he going to be able to score again against Peterborough? Is Waghorn going to be in and around it? Who knows? Corey Smith is another one who might be on his way back. Liam Thompson obviously came on against Oxford and scored. Is he going to find himself in the starting lineup to give a bit more legs in that midfield? Obviously, as we know, Peterborough are a side with lots of attacking talent. So are Derby really going to want to play with 4 forward players, or are they going to want to balance out that midfield with the energy of Thompson, Max Bird next to him with Conor Hourihane sitting a bit deeper? Obviously, this will be Ryan Nyambi's last game before he heads off to the African Cup of Nations. Obviously, massively important for him as an international player to go and play in those games. But hopefully, we can have him back as soon as possible, because that could be something which causes a lot of problems defensively. Joe Ward, Kane Wilson, who's going to replace him after the Peterborough game? Personally, I think Kane Wilson will slot in at right back, but that is a question for another day. So I'm now going to make my team and score predictions for this Peterborough United home fixture. Obviously, subscribe to the channel for my matchday vlog, which will be coming out on the 2nd. Derby County, in massively good form, but obviously, are the players going to be able to do it? I think it'll be 4 games in 10-11 days when we play this. So are we going to need some changes? Personally, I think we will. I think I'd really like to see Liam Thompson back in the starting 11, but I'm not quite sure if he's fit enough for that yet. I personally think that James Collins needs to be not necessarily taken out, but I think Tyrese John-Jules will offer something different, offer a different way of playing forwards. And obviously you've got Mendez-Laing and Barkhuizen. Which one of those is going to be on it? In midfield, it's going to be a massively important decision as to whether Liam Thompson starts or if he sticks with what he's playing so far. But for me, my current thought process, without hearing what Paul Warne has to say in the preview, is I think it'll be Wildsmith in goal, back 4 of Nyambi, Nelson, Cashin and Forsyth, a midfield 3 of Hourihane, Bird and Thompson, and a front 3 of Mendez-Laing, Kane Wilson and John-Jules. Don't quite think Barkhuizen has got it at the moment, but we'll see what happens. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the matchday vlog. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.